Hello, everyone. Welcome to the October numerology forecast. It is so amazing what a difference a day can make. The energy today is so different than what we've been experiencing the whole month of September. And we're going to dive into that. And we're going to dive into everything that October has on offer, why the energy has shifted so dramatically. And let me know in the comments if you're here live. I'd love to chat with you throughout the forecast, and let me know if you have questions that come up or what you're experiencing as well. I'd love to hear that. So we're going to dive in right now, and I am going to make this simpler because here's the thing. So I'm a ruling number 10, and this is the 10th month of the year. And so what I know about being a ruling number 10 is that things can get overwhelming sometimes. And I want to make sure that this month the forecast is simple, it's easy, and it's not feeling overwhelming. So we're going to do the forecast a little bit simpler this time around with less heavy attention to details and get the overall feeling for the month. And then as we go throughout the month, we can fill in some more of the details week by week instead of taking it all at once. So then this is what the energy is calling us into, is to simplify our lives, to simplify things, to make things easier and make things more simple. And so that's what we're being called into, and that's the invitation. And so that's what I want to do here today. So for those of you who are just joining for the first time and have never met me before, I'm Kristen, and I am an advanced quantum numerologist. I am a personal coach who helps people understand who they are, what they want, why they want it, and how to create it. And this is important because if we don't know that, then we can wander around life directionless, unsatisfied, unfulfilled, unhappy, feeling lost, feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, all of those things. So we want to experience joy. We want to experience freedom. We want to experience peace and ease in our mind and hearts and being. We want to show up and be of service to the world and to experience fulfillment for ourselves in our lives. And to do all that, we need to know how to focus our direction, our attention. And we're going to be talking a lot about that today with this October forecast as well, because this is a lot about our focus and where we're focusing our attention. So I'm just going to adjust the volume here a little bit up. So hopefully that's better. And just letting you guys know, like, this is going to be a truly amazing month. So we just came out of 2 months that have been incredibly intense, and the intensity is really not going to let up a lot. It's just different this month. So you woke up this morning and you could feel like something lifted, right? I did. And I was kind of like looking for, wait, shouldn't I be feeling something, negative, something challenging, whatever? And it was like, no, like, this is the new energy. It does feel lighter. And yet there is still going to be a lot of clearing going on this month, but it is different. It's got a little bit of a lighter edge to it, even though it will be a deeply emotional month. It doesn't have that heavy mental energy. And I think that's one of the biggest things that was really challenging last month, was that energy was so mental. It was so heavily mental, and that has been lifted. And that alone is just like a breath of fresh air. And we've just been noticing that difference. So the numbers this month are very spiritual. And last month we were on a very spiritual realm as well in, raising our consciousness, but we were dealing with so much mental energy, and that's lifted this month, which is just, it is a relief. So the spiritual, emotional is going to be the focus this month, with a lot of physical coming in as well. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So 7 and 10 are both spiritual numbers, but they're also on the physical plane as well, because the 10 breaks down to the 1, which is the physical plane. So the 10 is the higher spiritual version of the 1. But it also has a physical element to it. So our physical bodies are going to be affected again this month, and we need to make sure we're supporting them as they need. but noticing that most of the time it just needs us to trust in it, to trust in its innate wisdom to make the adjustments and shifts that it needs to make. And anything you're feeling physically, I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, so, take this with a grain of salt, but we will be experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms again this month, and just, leaning into a lot of trust. For me, this is what I'm doing, is leaning into a lot of trust of what I'm feeling and allowing it just to pass through the body, knowing that things are shifting, clearing, up leveling. There's more and more of that happening again this month with such a physical focus on the physical body, also on the physical world. So there's going to be a lot going on in the physical world around us. And, we saw this coming in with Hurricane Ian and, other things going on in the world. There's been a lot of what appears to be destruction, but really what it is it's a clearing out, it's a cleansing that's happening, that needs to happen, because the old is leaving. And this is what entropy looks like on a mass scale, which is, we're in a worldwide state of entropy right now, of the old order, the old ways of living and doing and being and experiencing this earth. And so there is going to be a lot of things like this occurring around us that are really coming through to cleanse, clear. They're really working in our higher benefit. That hurricane happened when Jupiter was at its closest approach to Earth, and Jupiter is the planet of blessings. So, and expansion. So really understanding the higher level meaning of all of what is going on right now, to be able to practice again, being in that fourth dimension observer state, and being able to step outside the chaos and see what's really going on at a higher level. So that's what we've been experiencing and practicing with for several months, quite intensely here. And so we're taking what we've learned about that and applying it even further. So whatever you see going on in the world around you, the invitation is to maintain your focus, maintain your internal strength that you've been building up on, and trust that everything is moving in the right direction, that what is going on in the outside world does not have to throw you off your focus of what we're creating in the new, because what we're creating in the new is so amazing. And because we're creating it, this other stuff has to go away. That's just how it works. There has to be space cleared in order for the new to come in. This is the law of vacuum. So the law of entropy and the law of vacuum are very much in play right now. So is the law of abundance. And we have, this first day of the month, we're starting with an 8 energy day on an 8 of diamonds contract, which is all about abundance. Okay, so why I talk about the first day and the last day of the month is because those bookend the energy of the month. So we have this amazing energy today at our disposal to really tap into our ability to receive and experience abundance, the limitless ability that we have as limitless beings. That 7 and 10 want to come together, the 7 energy month and the 10th month of the year. So I'm going to be talking about those two numbers a lot because they're traveling with us all month. And so is this 8 of diamonds, 8 energy. So it's really about tapping into our ability to experience abundance and our worthiness and capability of doing that. And that has been a big theme for many of us, and certainly myself included, with allowing and opening up to that higher spiritual understanding that we are so provided for, we're so taken care of, and we are in our collective Uranus, which means miracles can and will happen. So expect them. Expect miracles in your finances, in your health, in your experiences of the physical world to be starting to show up for you even more this month. They probably have already started popping in a little bit. There's more coming, which is really exciting. This is really This is really a huge breakthrough energy. And that's what Uranus likes to bring, is these breakthroughs. So we end the month on a 4 of Hearts and 2 energy day. So that 4 of Hearts 2 energy is really about it's the structure, right? The commitment and the structure, the stability. And why I want to bring that in is because that also occurs during the 44th week of the year. So that 4 is really significant, that we're ending the month on a 4 of Hearts day. The 4 is a double 2, the energy is the 2, and then it's the 44th week of the year. So that's 4 and 4 is 8, but there's all those 4s showing up, and multiples of 2 and 4 and and the 8 again, which brings in the beginning of the month to the end. So there's this whole theme here about what we're committing to, what we're devoted to, making choices about that. But also this is also, all these numbers are about trusting yourself and your intuition. So the 7, the 2, the 4, the 8, and the 10 are all about that, right? It's all about trusting yourself, trusting your intuition. 4 of Hearts is about coming home to yourself, really about coming home to love, the essence of you, who you are as a unique and divine being. Hello, Edita, good to see you. You found me. So this is, this is only the second month we're doing these on YouTube, and the energy was so bizarre this past week, and I was processing so much, I didn't get to really announce it like I usually do with invites and all of that. So I'm just seeing who finds their way here, and I know and trust that whoever needs to hear this message will hear it. So we're talking about the 4 of Hearts and how that's capping off the month. The whole theme this month is really about embracing your divinity, yourself as a divine, limitless being, conscious creator, your self-worth and self-love and ability to and worthiness to experience abundance. So in all of its forms, and really just deciding and choosing to trust yourself and your intuition to guide you through everything, to guide you through the experience of an observation of the entropy process as we continue into moving forward into the new. We're being called into leadership again to set that example for everyone else. That 4, that 8, that 10, and even the 7 is a leader in that the 7 teaches as they go. They learn as they go, and they teach from what they learn. They learn from any missteps, which I really don't think that even exist. I don't think you can make a mistake. I don't think that there is such a thing as mistakes or missteps. It's really all just a ability to an opportunity to learn from something that you choose to experience. They're just different experiences. And so when we look at life in a different way, when we shift our perception, that's where a lot of the magic can show up. The magic can show up, and we can really experience that. The mysticism of that 7. That 7's very mystical. It's very spiritual. It's very Neptunian. So there's this mystery about it. That's just it's just. I love it. That's one of my favorite energies, is, all of the magic and mystery of life, the awe, the wonder, the infinite possibilities, the realm of imagination of, what can we actually create and bring forth here? And is there really any limit to what we can do and what we can bring forth into creating a new world based in love, based in harmony, based in compassion, based in peace? And that's really what wants to come through this month. And, that 10 being the 10th month of the year pretty much guarantees us success if we believe, if we keep our focus on the spiritual realm as our foundation. That is the foundation that we want to commit to. That is the foundation that is our home, that is our truth, that is us. And so that's where our success is going to be found, is in that spiritual realm. The 10 is an interesting number because it's the only one out of all of the numbers in the year, so months 1 through 12, that has a 0 after it. And the 0 represents the infinite realm, source, God, whatever you want to call it. The 0 point, right? The void, the blank slate, the, the air, the space where you can create anything, because it's a space of nothingness and everythingness. And the 1 is man. So 1 plus God equals infinite possibilities that we can create together. And this is really what this is about, is really being able to overcome anything when we are partnering with and remember that we're one with source, that we're one with God, that we're one with the infinite, that there's no separation, and really letting go of this perception of separation and duality, this whole idea that we're separate, or that we're different, or that there's a black and a white. And this is about all the colors are mixed in together. Everything's connected. And so this is really about the energy of this month, and really diving into this. So I do want to just give you a few more specifics that are going on this month. So beyond what I already talked about, the themes that I pulled for this specific group, so if you're watching live or on the replay, these themes are specific to you. So our personal inner focuses are going to be on our third eye chakra and our soul star chakra. So the third eye chakra is, most people know about that one. That's about limitlessness. It's about tapping into our intuition and trusting it, letting it guide us, and really trusting ourselves more and more and more and more and more. And I can't stress that enough. It's about, that imagination, using your imagination, your innovation, and really tapping into, wow, what's possible here? Like, this is really about where we're tapping into that Neptunian energy, what is possible, and allowing that understanding, that knowing, and that deep wisdom and consciousness to drop in, and trusting yourself in it. Like when the hurricane was happening in Florida and my parents were in the eye of the storm, I just had a deep inner knowing and a deep peace that I knew they were fine. Like, I didn't have to worry about them at all. Like, not once did I feel fear. And that's the type of inner knowing that I'm talking about, that you can trust that. And I was able to trust that. And then I was like, oh, where can I apply that to other places in my life, places that I may still be feeling some fear? And then when I did that, it was like, oh, that opened up a whole new door and life for me. I was like, oh my God, I am capable of not feeling fear, of really just tapping into that inner knowing and that trust, and how big that changes everything for you. So that's what I'm talking about with this, seeing beyond the illusion. The illusion is that there's any sort of lack, any sort of restriction, any sort of limitation. All of that is Maya. It's all illusion. So seeing beyond that and really allowing your consciousness to expand as you trust yourself and your inner knowing, which has been growing and growing in the past several months, really exponentially on like warp speed. Then the soul star chakra is the other personal inner focus that you want to tap into. And that is, again, like kind of what I was talking about before, the merging with the divine, the transcendence, because it's that 10. Soul star chakra is the 10th chakra. So it's that number 10 again. So that man plus the divine is everything, right? This is about tapping into your ability as a channel to really let go of the physical world and transcend it, being the bridge between the spiritual and physical realms for other people and yourself, but for other people, so that you can help be a leader in this way and help other people make this shift and come through this very challenging time in human history, right? This is about raising your vibration to think outside your mind. That's an interesting concept, to think outside the mind. So you're still, yeah, just sit with that one. Everything's happening simultaneously. That's that understanding that there, time and space doesn't exist, right? You're in the past, present, and future all at once. And you are infinite. Your ability to expand your awareness beyond space and time is incredible. You can do this. So this is the two really big themes for us individually. And then how do we work with the outside world? The two cards that came up around that was fire, which is really, igniting your passion. It's the creation energy, the kundalini energy, that rising phoenix energy, bringing conflict into harmony. It's intensity, it's transformation. It's really embracing the miracle of life, of being alive, and tapping into the infinite energy available to you when you are walking through this world as a spiritual being. Accepting your light and dark sides and loving both of them, integrating them both into one, seeing that there's no separation between the two, that we can't be all light. We have to have some dark to be light as well. And really, you can transmute the dark into light, but first you need to accept that you do have dark, and that is part of you, and that's part of your experience, and there's nothing wrong with it. So that fire, that's how you work with this world right now, is bringing forth that fire, forging forward, tapping into motivation and the forward motion and movement that is coming through these energies this month for us, by keeping your focus spiritual. So it's really everything you do to move through the physical world this month is going to be, got to start with the spiritual, got to pause and focus on the spiritual, come within first, tap into your intuition. What's the intuitive next step? Is it to wait? Is it to be patient? Is it to take an action? What action is it to take? And really inviting that mind down into the heart space and allowing the intuition and the heart to lead, and letting that mind-heart coherence occur. It's really, really critical this month. And we are better at it than you think you are. And this is one thing that landed for me this week too, like really recognizing, oh, I actually do know. I don't trust myself to know, but I do know. And the times when I do trust myself, it's like I'm spot on. And when I read for other people, I have no problem trusting myself. That's what's really amazing. And if you are a reader or a channel, you know this for yourself, right? It's harder to do it for yourself than for other people, because you have no attachment when it comes to the other people. But when it's you, there's the attachments. And that 7 energy this month is really asking us to let go of those attachments, and we'll be clearing a lot of that out. So the other card for how to work with the physical realm right now is ether. So that's the 0-point field, the void, the blank canvas, anything possible. Time to choose what you want to bring into your life. This is really the key, and knowing that there are endless possibilities. So when you're choosing, ask yourself, am I choosing this because I think it's the best thing that I can do right now? Or is this what I want if there were 0 limitations? Because there are 0 limitations. So if nothing was standing in your way, what would you want to bring into your life right now? That's the question to ask yourself, and then start moving intuitively toward it. Knowing without words, life force energy, the space in between. This is all what the ether is about. So you can see, just with these themes, this is just focus on the spiritual, focus on the spiritual, focus on the spiritual, and everything else will fall into place. But you have to trust and believe. And so those are the big words of this month, the big themes of this month, right? And it's a choice that we're making, but it's if you're listening to this forecast, you've already made the choice a long time ago. You're just needing to to move deeper into it now. It's not like people who are just getting started most likely are not watching this forecast. They might be, and if that's you, welcome, first of all. And secondly, please ask lots of questions because we're here to support you. But most of you are already on the path of conscious expansion and this spiritual leadership role that you've chosen to step into a long time ago. So this is really just deepening that awareness. And I'm just going to check and see if there are comments. Edita says, I can feel that deeper trust in being lit up by your imagination. Absolutely. Hello, Rahul. Welcome. So yeah, let me know how this is landing for you guys so far. Like I said, I don't want to bring too much detail right now because I don't want to overwhelm you. So I'm giving you more of an overview of the energy. And we do have a lot. I'll get into a little detail now. We have a lot of planetary movements this month. We've got the full moon, the new moon, and an eclipse. So there is a lot of energy movement this month, which we would expect when a 7 energy comes in. There's a lot of movement. So we're seeing that in the planetary movement too. Tomorrow, Mercury is officially direct. So that'll help us, clear up a lot of communication things, but we'll still be in that post-shadow phase until around the 20th of the month. So we still have time to wrap up things, wrap up lessons that we were learning with our Mercury retrograde and, any sort of communications that we still need to clean up, finish up, whatever. We have until the 20th. But on the 8th and 9th, Pluto's moving direct. So, a lot of that inner shadow work stuff is going to start lifting. We won't be needing to do that and focus on that anymore. Although you'll still see elements of that this month because Pluto is one of the outer planets. And even though it moves direct, it's going to take time for it to be fully in full motion again. And so there will be some elements this month still of cleaning up some of that stuff and embracing the shadow, which is what we were talking about. And that's why. And then we have the full moon that's happening on October 9th. And that is in Aries, 16 degrees of Aries, which adds up to a 7. So we've got that element of the 7 again. So on the high side, and I want to talk about that first. Let me just get some water real quick. There we go. On the high side, the Aries full moon, Aries is springtime. Aries is awareness. It's that baby of the zodiac. So it's birth. It's awareness. It's lots of awareness rising up of infinite possibilities because it's that 7, spiritual awareness of yourself as a divine, infinite being. It's awareness. It's happening on a King of Clubs 7 energy day as well. So there's another 7 influence there. And then we have that King of Clubs. So this is awareness about our thinking, about mental and emotional mastery, because Aries full moon brings up a lot of emotions. And the King of Clubs is about being a master communicator and mastering your mental mastery, right? Mental states. And so how you think and your ideas and perceptions and all of that in the world. And so this is about raising that awareness, raising that perception even higher spiritually, making adjustments to the message that you're already putting out there and finding new ways to communicate, new ways to deliver your message, and new awareness about what your message is. So you'll make adjustments to it, or you might shift your message quite dramatically. But this is really because this is about newness, right? This is about rebirth, and this is something's coming to a completion here in order to make room for the new. But there is a rebirth happening in this process, or I don't want to say rebirth, a birth. Right? The rebirth comes with the Scorpio new moon at the end of the month. This is the beginning of the zodiac. This is really about the birth. So the newness, and this is a lot of new awareness coming in, raising your self-worth and your personal value even higher because of all of these new awarenesses that come in around yourself as a divine being. Like we're really, and you guys have probably started experiencing this, we're really just seeing things in a whole different way and feeling it on a deep internal cellular level. Like there's definitely things changing here after we've had so many new moons that have been creating these massive heart openings in us. Like we've been, you would have to be like, you wouldn't be watching this forecast if you were oblivious to what's been happening. Like you've had to have been feeling this. So these big heart openings have been happening, and through that we are opening up to more of that awareness and acceptance of ourselves as these divine infinite spiritual beings. And so this is coming in even stronger with this full moon. Now what we will notice going on in the collective with the people who are not yet at this point in their consciousness shift is there will be a lot of emotions rising up, a lot of emotional immaturity rising up, a lot of control structures rising up. These are all rising up to come to a completion. But Aries is also the planet of war, right? Because it's ruled by Mars. So we're going to probably see some stuff rising up in the world around that. Do not be afraid and do not worry. There's no reason to get caught up in the drama of it. Just observe. Keep your center and observe, and know that this is all part of the entropy happening, all part of the clearing away and cutting away of the old. The 7 is like a scythe. So it's cutting away the old, especially coming in on a full moon. It's really cutting away the old. And we'll experience that also in our personal lives, in our personal world. There's still more being cut away of us, new layers of stuff coming up that still need to be cleared out. But we are really practicing being in our center and just observing and going, okay, I see you, and I'm just going to let you come up, rise up, and acknowledge you, accept you, clear you. And there's nothing you need to do except just allow the clearing to happen. The full moon will take care of it all for you. So this is, but to know what's going on in the collective is important, because you'll want to make sure you're tapping into your compassion, your patience, your self-mastery, because the people around you may not have that to tap into yet. And so you'll be wanting to set the example, and also just to keep yourself centered and focused, and keep your focus spiritual, on love, on compassion, on acceptance, on what you want to create. Because the next day, 10/10, where that's, the 10/10, because it's the 10th month and the 10th day of the 10th month. So it's an important day, a powerful day. And that's really where we get this momentum, because the 8 energy comes in with the Queen of Clubs, which is very creative, and she shares her intuitive wisdom. And this is also about that shift in mind, again, in perception, because it's a club. And so, this higher level royalty way of perceiving the world in a different way. So this is this initiation with 2 10s into these new higher realms, right? And so there's a momentum of that happening. So we are definitely moving into the new, even though we're going to see a lot clearing out again this month. And so we are moving forward while we're clearing. That's kind of what's going on here. We're allowing the miracles happen. We're allowing, because the month begins on a Uranus day collectively. So remember at the beginning when I said Uranus, expect miracles. This whole month we're in Uranus. So we are expecting miracles. We are integrating this new higher level understanding of who we really are as these spiritual limitless beings. And we are moving into really experiencing the miracles in the physical world. So again, that comes in right after that full moon. So it really gives you a flavor of this full moon. Even though there's endings happening, there's a lot of new beginnings birthing as well. So that's really important to understand. And then literally the day after that, we move into eclipse season with the 2 weeks before the first eclipse. And so that is going to be another, we'll see a lot of stuff cleansing and clearing during that. That's normal to happen to prepare for the eclipse coming. And again, it's just going to be happening. You're just to be aware of it, to notice it and allow it, right? There's nothing you really need do. And that's important, because I think, a lot of what makes us, and I've experienced this myself, of making things more challenging than they have to be, is trying to control because we think we have to do something. This is more about letting go of the control and allowing and trusting. When you need to take an action, you will be intuitively guided. So if you need to literally write a physical forgiveness letter or something, you will be intuitively guided to do that. Or, if you need to do some sort of cleanse for your body, you'll be intuitively guided to do that. Don't approach these things thinking, I have to do this now, from the ego. So just be mindful of that. Just call in the awareness of when you're in your ego versus when you're in your intuition, and you will know. And that way, that's all you have to do, is ask for the awareness and it will be given to you. You will have it. So I think that's really important to remember. As we move in, Saturn moves direct as well this month. So, we're still going to be dealing with Saturn. We're really going to be lovingly guided by our parent planet Saturn, our loving parent, to continue to move ahead responsibly, to stay in our own personal responsibility. And this is going to continue to be a theme, because we're with Saturn now through all of next year. We've been with Saturn since the retrograde started in July. And so Saturn has been a big influence planet in this shift for us. And it's making sure that we stay accountable to our dreams, our visions, what we want. And this is a good thing, because it's helping us. It course corrects us very quickly right now. We're noticing that we're getting course corrections very quickly when we are losing our spiritual focus. So, because that's where we get tripped up and start doing things that are going to be out of alignment with what we're really desiring to experience, is when we tap into that control and try and go back into control. That's when we move out of that alignment. So Saturn helps keep us in that alignment. So Saturn's a good thing. And so, so even though Saturn's moving direct, we'll feel it a little differently. We'll feel more because so many planets are starting to go direct now. We're feeling the energy lift and that movement forward happening, and that helps us really come out of any sort of procrastination or fear energy that could still be lingering. It helps us move out, because all these planets are one after the other starting to turn direct. So, and it's also indicating to us that we're moving out of this time of deep inner work and really being able to be in the acceleration of moving forward. So that's really what I see overall happening with these planets turning direct this month. Then we have the new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio on the 25th. And that is obviously a powerful event that's happening. It is a big rebirth. Scorpio is all about rebirth. So that, Phoenix rising again, it's that theme. And it's in 2 degrees on a 10 of hearts 5 energy day. So this tells me that rebirth is going to be another huge heart opening. You thought you couldn't experience more, there's always more. And that's really what we're being shown by the energies, that have been these themes for these full and new moons all throughout this year. Is the clearing energies have been intense, and then the new moons have been like these huge openings, and we're in for another one this month, which is amazing, because really I know that you guys have all been experiencing this too, and let me know in the comments, but I've really been feeling a lot more and feeling the intensity a lot more of life, but in a good way. It's like, oh, I can actually feel that, and being able to tap into our physical bodies from a feeling state and really really partner with our bodies in that way so that we can navigate the world through that instead of through our mind and our ego all the time. And so that's what these heart openings are bringing. That's what these rebirths are bringing. And it's going to be a really emotional, very psychic day. There's going to be a deep healing around this. It's definitely a deep healing energy, acceptance of dark and light to bring more light forth. We're really going to be in this rebirth, this new fresh start ahead for more unity, more compassion, more love, more kindness, more peace. So you hear these words, it's like, this is all good. This is not anything to be afraid of at all. And I think we've been through enough of these heart openings now, month after month in a row, that we're starting to understand, okay, this isn't always easy to experience while it's happening. It's emotional, all of that, but ultimately it's a really good thing. And so that's what we're really starting to really feel into and understand at a much deeper level. So that's kind of what's happening with that. And then, you know, once you hit that eclipse, you're in that eclipse period where you're between two eclipses. And that's always a huge opportunity there to move forward. So moving forward in this heart opening, in this consciousness shift, taking things even higher and moving our lives forward even more into these experiences of the self-love, the compassion, the the unity and all of that, the peace. So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy coming through this month. And then, you know, we have another thing happening right after that on the 27th. There's planetary movements with the Jupiter and Pisces transit. And so this is also going to happen between now and almost Christmas. So leading up right before Christmas. And this is about deepening self-love, compassion, your spirituality, and going really deep with that. And so this is all beautiful. Like, it's everything lines up for our best and highest good always. And then right at the end of the month, Mars retrograde begins. So we had all these planets move forward, and now we have Mars going retrograde. So it's going to bring us back into 5 planets being in retrograde. But remember, I told you, like, Mars retrograde doesn't mean you're not going to be taking action. We are. It's going to help us clear out, like, a lot of these Mars energies, the anger, the war, the competition, all of that kind of stuff is going to be clearing out, which needs to happen in order for us to really move into all of the love and compassion and unity and all of that. So trust again the process. Be aware that, you know, the collective isn't as aware that they're going through these changes. And so bringing in that compassion and that acceptance and that love and being the observer, staying outside of the drama, because this is happening during that 44th week of the year. So this is bringing in the new foundations, the commitment, the stability, and the devotion to coming home to yourself. So we influence the world by doing our own inner work, by leading by example, by showing how to be the love, how to be the compassion, how to be the peace in the world, because we give it to ourselves first. And we know that we can only get that from ourselves and give it to ourselves. And when we show the world that that's how it's done, we do ripple that out energetically to the rest of the world. And that's how we make a difference. So I'm just going to wrap up here. And it just says, it all makes sense to me. You can feel it all again, especially around trust, leaning into trust and make a choice, trust and make a choice. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And trust that what is coming through is the right choice. It is the next step, and that you are being intuitively guided, and really, really tapping into that. Like, I know I've been saying that over and over, but I can't stress it enough, because we say, yeah, yeah, yeah. But when we get in the situation, sometimes it's a whole other story. And we can even fool ourselves, and our ego can even find new ways of fooling ourselves, thinking that we're trusting. I did this morning. I thought I was trusting. And then after I meditated, I was like, oh, I'm still trying to control. And my mind is just trying to like convince me that that action was actually me trusting, but it wasn't. It was me still trying to control. So notice these things and just allow the awareness to come in. So weekly themes. So 10-3 through 10-9, solar plexus chakra came up for us as a group. So radiant illumination, use your power, notice where your power is, acknowledge your personal power, embrace your personal power. This is, that solar plexus passion energy, and notice where you are putting your energy. Focus your energy not on the drama happening around you, but on your spiritual focus, what you want to create and experience in the world, and working with source as a conscious creator. So that's the theme. And, we're really going to be embracing our purpose on a deeper level, and getting more, really wanting to express our purpose more deeply on a physical level, because the 3rd through the 9th ends on that full moon that I talked about. So that makes sense, right? It's really going to ignite our passion. So this first full week of October, we're noticing that, and we're taking action on that, and intuitively guided action. And then 10-10 through 10-16, we talked about that 10-10 power day. So 10-10 through 10-16, the card that came up was loving compassion. So everything can be made better with more love. That's really the message and the focus. It's the message we're delivering to the world in our own unique way. And it's the message for us as well to tap into more love, more compassion, and more love, right? And really trusting into that. And we will be shifting our message into more clarity around that this week for sure, and sharing our intuitive wisdom in our own unique way, and devoting ourselves more to our message, and a more expansive message than maybe we've been sharing up to this point. So there will be higher levels of awareness coming in that are going to shift that message for us, which makes sense with what I said about the full moon. Then the 17th through the 23rd, we have the violet flame coming in again. So I said, we will be still clearing and healing things. So this is clearing and transmuting, transforming our darker energies into more light, helping us see that we have endless opportunities and infinite possibilities available to us. So I feel like this is going to be, because we're moving that week from the clubs into the hearts, I feel like we're going to be tapping into our abilities as conscious creators, but there's a shift in perception that happens in the mind, bringing the mind-heart coherence more together by clearing out some of those negative thoughts, those negative beliefs that are still lingering. There's a healing happening that through that clearing, that transmuting, that transforming that's going to happen that week. That's really key. And then it'll open us up to be able to even be more powerful in our conscious creation abilities. And then 10-24 to 10-30, the solar plexus chakra comes up again. So you see this theme coming up this month of taking action, of moving forward, this passionate action. And in between, in the mid-month, you see a lot of healing, clearing going on. So you kind of see it's sandwiched in there. So the solar plexus chakra comes up again in that last week of the month. Again, notice your personal power, where you're putting your energy. And by this part of the month, you really have landed and are even landing stronger into coming home to yourself. Coming home. Home is where your heart is. And that's where we end that month. Home is love. Home is compassion. Home is within you and your infiniteness. So We land the month there, and it might seem like an airy fairy forecast, but it really is that kind of month. It really is. If we want to continue on, which we do, we all want to do this, is continue on with this consciousness shift, with our trajectory moving forward. And so that's why we're getting this particular forecast and these energies coming up, because we really have moved into the new way of living. We are still learning how to do it and learning to trust ourselves, but we are in it. And it's really just the awareness and integrating that awareness, because that's what Uranus is about too. And that willingness to step up and lead and be of service by being the example and sharing our wisdom. So those are all the keys to success this month. Success is available. We are divinely protected again by Jupiter once again this month with that 10, the 10th month of the year. So we are totally safe in this exploration of expanding into even more spirituality, even into more experience of the fifth dimensional way of living. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Let me know in the comments, if you're live or on the replay, how this landed for you. Really, really beautiful energies this month, but again, not without its challenges. And again, the way to overcome everything is keep that focus spiritual. So there will be a lot happening around us in the outside world, and it doesn't matter. We're creating what we want to experience, and all of the things happening around us are just, it's a lot of distraction. It's a lot of distraction. So don't put your focus there. And I don't mean you have to, be completely detached from it in terms of like not being aware of what's going on, but just don't get caught up in the drama of it. Be the observer and help where you feel intuitively pulled to help. But remember, also, no one needs rescuing. So I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here with me, and we'll see you again next month. And I will see you throughout the month in our Love Yourself to Wealth Facebook group, which the link is actually in the description of this. If you go to my link tree, you'll find the link for the Love Yourself to Wealth Facebook group and all of the places I am here on social media. If you found this video and forecast helpful, please consider sharing it with your loved ones and friends, and on your social media outlets with other people. And I'd love to hear your comments of how you're experiencing this month. So come back to this video and let me know as you go through and how much this is actually landing as I've forecasted for you. I love you guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.